Okay, hear me out. What if you're Snow White, but instead of 7 dwarves, you have 7 chickens? And there's a grumpy chicken and a sleepy chicken and a sneezy. You get the idea. I'm Hannah Sandvig. I am a cozy fantasy author and illustrator, and I actually wrote that book already. This is The Frost Gate. It's a Snow White retelling where she falls for the huntsman, and it actually has 7 chickens in it and an owl. It was starting to feel a bit like the 12 Days of Christmas while I was writing it because so many birds. All this to say that the question isn't really what if Snow White had 7 chickens, but the real question, the important question is, how would she dress them up for Christmas? Curious? Come draw with me and we'll find out together.
Okay, but why did I need chickens in my Snow White retelling? Well, you see, when I was plotting out the Frostgate, it was feeling very epic. I try to keep my books cute and funny and cozy for my own mental health, honestly, but there was an evil queen to defeat in this one, and an angsty huntsman to fall in love with, and dragons, and assassination attempts, and Nev could not bake enough pies to bring the balance back to coziness. So then I thought, what if she had chickens? What if she had just hatched 7 little chicks, each a carefully picked heritage breed, and she'd wanted chickens for years, and then when a fey huntsman bursts through her kitchen door, tells her she's a lost fairy princess, she thought she was a regular human doing regular human things, and demands that she come with him to Fairy immediately because the Unsilly Queen's wolves are closing in around her house, she says, fine, but not without my chickens. And she packs them up in a backpack with a hot water bottle and some food, as you do, and that's that. The book does also have dwarves, but really, it's the chickens that were important. Are you ready to meet them? First, we have Latte. Latte is the sneezy chicken. There she is as a baby as well, and she is a blue cochin. She's a little bit sneezy because she was the last chick to get hatched back before Nev had to put them in her backpack and take them to Fairy. And Latte was still a little bit damp. And if you know chickens, you know you have to keep them in the incubator until they're totally dry. So possibly Latte ended up a little bit sneezier because of that. But chickens do also sneeze, which I think is very funny. But as all the chickens needed to be dressed up a little bit festive, I thought that Latte could use a scarf because maybe the scarf would help with the sneezing and keep her cozy and warm, although she is majestically fluffy, so that should help keep her cozy as well. Alright, Latte is taken care of. Next we have Clementine, and there's a little baby Clementine. Clementine is a buff Orpington chicken, and we call her Clem for short, and she is the happy chicken. And maybe she's happy today because she laid a couple eggs. I don't know. I also wrote her as really enjoying her food because I feel like that is what makes chickens happy. Some little treats, some little snacks. She'd probably try and steal your Christmas cookies, so you should watch out for that. Bye, Clem, and we're on to Waffles. Waffles is actually named after one of my very own roosters. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to feed the chickens. Just a sec. Wait, did I not mention my chickens? I'd like to believe that they really love me, but I think they're just hoping for food. Okay. We have 18 chickens, 1 rooster, and 17 hens. I had to do a little math there. This is Betty, and she is the bestest chicken, and here I tried to hold her to show you how cute she was, but it was really hard to hold chickens with one hand. And here's some of my eggs. Yay! Okay, that's my chickens. I should get back to work now that they've had some food. And back to where was I? Oh yeah, Waffles and baby Waffles. Waffles is a laced Wyandotte, and he is based on Doc, the dwarf. So it's not really so much a personality as that he likes to be in charge and keep everybody in line and try and keep all the flock, out of trouble, which is a hard task for one chicken. But he kind of reminded me then he should be Santa Claus. I don't know. It made sense in my head. You can tell me if you think that makes sense or not. But he's kind of like the daddy figure, and Santa is... I don't know where I'm going with this, but he does look really good in the hat, you will have to admit. And I do feel like he cares if you've been a good boy or girl. I don't know if he's got any presents for you, though. Sorry about that. Thank you, Waffles, for all the hard work you do. Next is Meringue. Meringue is the sleepy chicken. I's baby meringue. And meringue is a silky. And I kind of thought that a silky would make a good sleepy chicken because you can't really see their eyes anyway. Okay, so you can see here I was coming up with two different ideas. I had like a Christmas tree with lights sketch and then a wreath sketch. And my children said the wreath sketch was better because it was kind of fluffy looking and meringue is also kind of fluffy. I like to think that she just kind of fell asleep like she always does, and Nev just decorated her for Christmas, and she's just very unbothered by it. She's like, sure, I can be a wreath, whatever. Wake me up when there's presents or Christmas cookies to enjoy. Speaking of cookies, this one gets a lot of them. This is espresso, and she is a black Barnevelder cookie. Chicken. Okay, so you know how Bashful the dwarf in Snow White has a crush on Snow White? Well, this little chicken has a crush on the huntsman. That is right, he is her very favorite person, and she doesn't care if he's grumpy and if he pretends that he doesn't like chickens, because after a while, she starts to realize that he always has some cookies in his pocket for her. And then the huntsman and Nev fall in love, and that works out great for Essie because that means that she can be near her favorite person all the time, and they lived happily ever after. Chicken number 6 is Snickerdoodle. There's a little baby Snickerdoodle. Snickerdoodle is a buff Polish, and I picked that kind of chicken honestly because it looked ridiculous. So Snickerdoodle is dopey. He has, brain empty, no thoughts, always a little behind, always a little confused. Honestly, he is maybe the most realistic portrayal of a chicken as far as I know, because I love my chickens, but they're not very smart. And for some reason, he decided to dress up as a reindeer for Christmas, which, sure, I thought about giving him a red nose, and my children said, no, that would be ridiculous, because this is not ridiculous. But that's okay, Snickerdoodle. We love you just the way you are. Okay, Paprika. We call her Pip for short. And she is a Belgian d'Uncle. And she's the grumpy chicken. You can see here I didn't know which chicken I was going to draw at first. And then I drew grumpy chicken over top. She's named Paprika because she's kind of orange. All of the chicken names I feel like I should mention are from my readers. I put out a call to my newsletter and was like, I need to name chickens. There's 7. It's too many for me to name on my own. They should be named after some sort of food because Nev is a baker, and give me some names. So Paprika and Pip were actually mentioned a few times, and I did think it was very, very cute. So here's Paprika. She is also one of the readers' very favorite chickens. I don't know what that says about my readers, that they love the grumpy little gremlin of a chicken the most, but I mean, she is kind of awesome. So here they are all together, my 7 very festive chickens for my Snow White. Please let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. This was just a fun little drawing experiment. I wanted to play with doing a bit more of a relaxed and loose style, but then they turned out so dang cute that I thought I should do something with them. What could I do with them? Wait, I have an idea. What if I made an illustrated recipe for my very, very favorite cinnamon shortbread Christmas cookie recipe, and you could get it on my Patreon for free as part of my free Patreon community.
If you now must have more of Nev and her 7 chickens in your life, you can read The Frostgate. It is one of my interconnected fairy tale retellings, so they all stand on their own, but they also have cameos with the other ones. Technically book 3, 4, that's a long story, I'll explain later. But you can also just read this one. And it has art in it, and I promise that it's like real art mostly and not ridiculous chickens with antlers, but those are awesome too. Also, baby unicorns. See, if you were at all entertained by me and my rogue chickens, I hope you will like and subscribe. This is my very first video, and I need help so that YouTube knows that I exist. But that's all for today, so I hope you can stay whimsical, embrace the coziness, and I'll see you in my next video.